Hey, what's going on, crypto people? What the world? Happy Friday. Happy Friday to each and every one of you. Holy moly. What an exciting time to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is the digital asset space. I know sometimes it doesn't feel cool to be early. What the world? Moon Dang is up 191%. Goodness gracious. Anyway, I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it's awesome to be early, right? You got the bumps in the road, you got the body blows from the SEC, right? You got your stuff not moving as well as you thought it would. But boy, I gotta tell you, being early, being ahead of the game, knowing and learning from past cycles, I'm telling you, that insight, that knowledge is invaluable. So I hope you hope to kind of take it the same way that I do, man. It's a blessing to be early in this space. It's a blessing as long as you can handle the good and the bad, the ups and the downs. Not bad. What happened here? 5%. 5 hours. So the market, we'll go over that. Market is doing what the market does. We'll go over the numbers. Ripple X Dev highlights flared networks, node as a service business. Yeah. Apparently you can spin up a node kind of quick and easy using flared networks machine images thing. We're going to cover that. But it was interesting to see Ripple highlight that. That was pretty cool. We'll get into that as well. Look, SUI is dominating. Meme coins are dominating. Top 20 for 2024. Top 20 assets in 2024. This is 2024 only. 12 of the 20 are meme coins. 12. Certainly not telling anyone to go out and buy them, but my land. You can't argue with the numbers. You can't argue with the data. And Raul Paul's pro macro guy, yeah, he confirms ergodicity. We're going to cover that. I thought it was interesting. I'll cover that. So this is it's technically it's an insider type video, technically, but he made ahead. Went ahead and made it public. So I think it was part of the pro crypto or macro crypto, pro crypto. So I got some notification about it. Next thing you know, it's on YouTube. But in any case, we'll share that as well. We'll share that as well. How many of you guys went out and got that book I recommended from yesterday's live stream? How many went out and grabbed that book from yesterday's live stream? Brother Crypto's in the building. What's going on, bro? How are you? I wonder how many went out. World, happy Friday. Went out and grabbed that joint, huh? How many went out and grabbed that book from yesterday's live stream? What's going on, Hydro? Hydro says, Siege, my man, just looking at the fake tether news. Yeah, saw my guy, Darren Moore, part of his Patreon, and he shared that the investigation was fake. Interesting. It's interesting. Crazy times in this digital asset space, huh? Meme coins ruling the day in 2024 thus far. I don't know. Do you think it'll happen for all of 2025? I don't know, but we'll cover that. Meme coins killing the game. I said 12. It's 14 out of the top 20. We'll get into that as well. SUI is one of the D apps on the SUI network is being highlighted by Ondo Finance. Ondo Finance happens to be one of the top gainers of the top 20 in 2024. Well, how about that? It's 2024. Jeremy Hogan lets us know what's the deal with Ripple's cross appeal. I'm going to get into that as well. I was supposed to look into Kamino. I'm pretty sure if you supply Solana to borrow, you should be able to borrow anywhere, right? Like, I feel like you should. I'll supply and then I'll just take it off just to see. But that's the way it should be. That's what I'm typically used to. You supply an asset, you make it collateral eligible, and you should be able to borrow USDC or borrow PayPal's USD. I don't know why I'm getting confused on that, but you should be able to do it. Collateral is collateral. You don't have to borrow Solana if you supply Solana. Look at that big. What the world? What got going on here? Oh, 12%. Okay. Yeah, 12%. This is the one. PayPal USD. Supply, you get 7.5. You borrow, you get it's only 4. It's only 4. So what I'm saying is you could supply Solana at 4.98 and borrow at 4.68 PayPal USD. I don't see why you can't do that. Right? I don't know. I'm going to do it. We're going to do it live, fam. Remind me to do it live. I think you can. I think you can. Breaking news about, Coinbase and SUI USDC should be able to withdraw directly to the SUI wallet directly. I can't wait to confirm. Here's the Raoul Pal video. This is Raoul's deck. I don't want Raoul's deck. I want this deck. Yeah. And this video, here's the deck right here. This video is kind of confirming what we've been saying about the 90-10 hydro. Confirming it. It's an ergodic move. 90-10 is an ergodic move. How many went out and got that book I recommended? Hydro, you grabbed that book, bro? Did you grab that book, bro? How many went out there and grabbed that book that I recommended? I recommended 2 books yesterday. How many went out there and grabbed them some? Brother Crypto, did you grab that book? Did you see my live stream yesterday? Ergodicity, Luca Delana. And The Education of a Value Investor by my guy, Guy Spear. Here we go. Ergodicity by Luca Delana, Hydro. Delana is spelled with 2 L's and 2 N's. D-E Lana. 2 L's, 2 N's. And my book by my guy, Guy Spear. The Education of a Value Investor. Good stuff. All right, it's good stuff. We're going to go let some people hop on. Mr. XRP All In is in the building. How are you doing, bro? Was that a tough game to watch, man? Was that Eagles-Giants game a tough game to watch? Rick Cisneros says no. Can you write it down in chat? Of course. Of course. My mentor used to say. So it's Ergodicity. Luca. D-L-L-A-N-A-A. And shoot, that's such a big title. Shoot, this is another big title. The education and the education of a value investor by my guy, Guy Spear. My typing's terrible. What's going on here? DeFi Daddy's in the building. What's going on, bro? How are you? Good Giants are pitiful. It's sad, bro. It's sad. I'm glad they gave Shine a hard time because the freaking co-owner knew what he was talking about, man. Knew what he was talking about. Freaking quarterback has a decent line, man. He has a decent enough line. He can't make the throws, bro. The only throws he can make is slants. That's all he can make. He's missing on freaking drags. He's missing on deep routes. Wide receivers are in flux. They don't know if the ball is coming high, low, inside, outside. So they can't run their routes. Like they can't really run a route because they don't know where the ball is going to go, bro. DeFi Daddy, go to minute 55 of what, bro? Rick says, no, says, Dodgers look great. I am in Los Angeles. Did they play yesterday or are they playing their first game today? I don't even know. Brother Crypto. Yeah, you are right about that. Says, I'm in Detroit, so I'm at the top of the football mountain right now. Boy, you are right about that, sir. Okay, so it is today. Dodgers Yankees first game today, 1 something Eastern time, I think. That might be on now, huh? Is that on now? That's got to be on. Mr. XRP all in says it's time for a new quarterback for the New York Football Giants. This is correct, bro. They made the wrong bet, man. They made the wrong bet. This old running back that Joe Shine seems to think that is I forget the dude's name now. But anyway, the dude we just traded, the old quarterback, the old running back, Saquon Barkley, is leading the league in 30-yard scampers. He's leading the league in 30-yard runs or more, 30 yards or more. But he's old. According to Shine, he's too old. We can't get any value out of an old dude. Anyway, this is supposed to be about crypto. So DeFi Daddy, you said go to minute 55. Are you talking about a certain video, bro? What's going on? Oh, what? You just had it open. Oh, you watched that video too? I think I was just at minute 55, but that's what I was going to highlight. DeFi Daddy is on it. Let me see. No, I'm on minute 36. Okay. So you say go to minute 55. Okay, yeah, we're going to cover that, bro. We're going to cover this video. So you watched it, huh? Sharp man, that DeFi Daddy. Sharp man. What's going on, Pookie? How are you, my friend? All right, so let's get into some stuff. Let's go over this freaking market real quick. I gotta stake my Superverse, man. I don't have any of my super staked. Superverse token, I don't have any of it staked, man. I should be staking it. Take advantage of the staking for 8, 10, 12 months, something like that. I should do it. All right, so according to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap is down 3.6%. Oh, wow. Okay, still ranging, fans. Still ranging. And is currently at $2.38 trillion market cap. Bitcoin dominance is at 55%. Let me see what my portfolio app is saying the dominance is at. CoinGecko, I feel like it's a little off. Oh, that's going to change when Flare Networks gets up and running. We're going to get some accurate data then, DeFi Daddy. We're going to get some accurate data. We should get that. Tractron, free handle, Tracton, P&L update. Okay. Should give me the dominance here, right? What's going on? All right. So anyway, it usually pops up. Maybe a notification. Bitcoin is trading at $66,729 again, fam. Again. On a 30-day, it's up 5.5%. Ethereum is trading at $2,400 again, approximately. And on a 30-day, it's down 4%. Solana is trading at 167 freaking dollars again. And on the 30-day, it's up 11.5% on the 30-day. XRP is at 51 cents, my land. And on the 30-day, XRP is down 12%. It's hard to kind of gather, isn't it? XRP is hard to figure out, man. Hard to figure out. What else we got here going on in the market that we want to cover? What we got? Anything? SUI is at $1.83 on the 30-day. It's down 8%. Aptos, my guy Virtual Bacon seems to think that Aptos is a better buy than SUI. Interesting. Different perspective. Interesting. Market caps are about the same. He believes because the tokenomics are better on Aptos and that the FDV, the circulating value is greater. In other words, there's more of it out. That makes it the better buy. I don't know. Don't you have to factor in the price somehow as well? But I don't know. That's my guy. That's what he says. I just happen to not agree with him, but that's what he said. What else we got going on here? Anything else good? What is the freak is white Bitcoin? Is that what that's supposed to be? White Bitcoin? What is that? Anybody know? It's up 64%. But here's something you can't argue with right now. I'm trying to look to see if there's anything interesting in the green. PopCap meme coin up 40% on the 30-day. I didn't get any PopCap. What else? That's it, really. I don't know what ApeCoin is doing or why he's doing it. Safe. Where's Safe? It's up 94% in 30 days. That's crazy. What is that about? I've heard of it, but I wonder what it is. Anyways, top 100 and coin market cap at 758 million, but I haven't heard of it. Anatoly says Coinbase's backed layer 2 base is Solana's biggest competitor, and here's why. Yeah, all right, cool. So let me share this here from my guy Murad. Murad says, this is for 2024, 14 of the top 20 best performing coins since the beginning of the year are meme coins. 14 out of the 20. This cycle is a meme coin cycle, according to Murad. Meme coin outperformance will continue in 2025. This is what he believes. Doesn't mean it's true. It just is what he believes. So 1 till 20, 14 meme coins. What the freak? That's interesting stuff right there. Now, we got some Giga, we got some PopCat, we got some Giga and SPS 6900. We don't have any Mug and don't have any PopCat. I feel like should have had both of these. 46x on the year up. 195x on the year up. Yeah, don't have them. But I feel like Giga and SPX are this is just my personal belief. I believe our next cycle meme coin. So this is what I believe. I don't know, but we'll see. RWA play at number 7 is Mantra, OM from Mantra. And then we got Arrow, which is the exchange on Aerodrome Finance, which is on Base. I don't know what ABT is, but it says it's infra play. Then we got more meme coins. We don't have any of those meme coins. And then we got a DeFi play called Banana. RWA called Undo. We have that. Meme coin. Pendo is the other DeFi. 307%. So we have, 1, 2. I was hoping, this is for 2024. 1, 2. I think either state my arrow or something. I don't remember. We got width 3. Onto 4. So 4 is how 20 is not bad. Anyway, that's what they're doing as of 2024. We'll see how it goes for 2025. But let me get to the chat, and then I'm going to cover what I thought was an interesting move by Ripple X. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, Rick said, okay, Rick said that already. Brother Crypto says, man, I missed yesterday's stream, but I'm on it now. Nice, bro. All right. Is the game on now? Barkley. I don't know why I couldn't remember Saquon Barkley. My son is an Eagles fan, and he just hammered me. Hammered me. Anybody new? Crawfish is in the building. What's going on, bro? How are you? That's right, man. Ripple, look. Brother Crypto says, sees the XRP community tries to connect Ripple to everything cross-border. And when you dig deeper in the weeds, you see that it's not. Yep. We need to make a coin, says Rick Cisnero. R3 on the 7 block, they were in big lawsuit with XRPA a few years ago. XRP management, I guess that's what you're saying. A few years ago is because R3 is not profitable. Yeah, I heard they're on the selling block. Crypto Eddie did a video about it. I didn't watch that video, but it's interesting that they're on the selling block. Jungle Inc. got some heat in his video in the chats this morning about his thoughts, his personal thoughts on Ripple. Brad Garlinghouse dancing around a question that was asked of him in relation to possibly being acquired by someone. He danced around that for sure. I just personally think if I had to pick likely or less likely, I believe a merger is less likely. I mean, more likely than less likely. I believe a merger is more likely than less likely. Now, you know, it could be one of these SBI Holdings moves that SBI likes to make. A lot of people don't know, but SBI is the majority owner in Franklin Templeton. The majority owner in Franklin Templeton. Let me check out Franklin Templeton. Franklin Templeton assets under management. 1.53 trillion. That was in 2021. Why can't we have a more up to date? December 23rd. Franklin Templeton today reported preliminary month-end assets under management. That's good enough. January of 2024. 1.46 trillion. And how many did you know that SBI Holdings is a majority owner in Franklin Templeton? Did you guys know that? Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can find it. Franklin Templeton. Now, which one is going to share it was a 51-49 deal. That's the MOU of understanding, July. There it is right there. Japan's SBI Holdings and Franklin Templeton to set up asset something or other. SBI will own 51%. And Franklin Templeton, 49% of the joint venture. $1.46 in assets under management, and SBI owns 51% of it. SBI Holdings. I don't know why people think it's insane of a possibility that they would do something like that, SBI Holdings, with Ripple. I don't understand it, but kind of what it is. Anyway, I digress. Let's go to this news from Ripple X. My point to that is SBI Holdings can enter in a joint agreement with Franklin Templeton. Surely they can come to an agreement with Ripple Labs. Surely they can do that. Now, where is this at, man? I wanted to share the fact that Ripple X share this. Then I'm going to share, man, the world. Then I'm going to share Moon Chasers. Here it is right here, Ripple X. Quick node setup for the XRPL is here. Flare Networks blockchain. Flare Networks blockchain machine images is a node as a service solution that makes it seamless for devs. I wonder how Anchor is doing these days. Anchor is like the OG and knows as a service biz. And people running around getting $1 million. If you happen to be in them those states, people get $1 million from Elon. Getting $1 million. Getting $1 million versus signing something and getting some people to sign it. Goodness gracious. We got some friends in North Carolina. We need to show that. Elon Musk giving out $1 million just for signing a petition? Crazy stuff. Quick node setup for the XRPL is here. Isn't that interesting? That Ripple X shared that. Moon Chaser reposted this as well. It says, how are you, Moon Chaser? I hope you're doing well, miss. Flare's blockchain machine images on Google Cloud enable quick, cost-effective blockchain node deployment across 20 plus networks. Feels like to me, Flare Networks got a little revenue thing going on. She says XRP Ledger, Algorand, Avalanche, Bitcoin. Don't worry, DeFi Daddy. We're going to get to that video from Real Vision. Hang out with me, bro. We're going to get to it. XRP Ledger, Algorand, Avalanche, Bitcoin, Cosmos, Costin 2, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Filecoin, Flare, Polygon, etc. This service simplifies Web3 integration, reduces infrastructure demands, and boosts scalability for developers and enterprises. Why did this feel like this is game-changing stuff here? I'm not a developer, but it feels like. Now, why would you want to run an XRPL node? I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm not a dev. But this feels like game changing. Do I have this up here? Effortless node deployment, Flare's blockchain machine images now live on Google Cloud. A groundbreaking tool that would allow Web3 developers to deploy full blockchain nodes in mere minutes and at low cost. How will this benefit devs? Polaris blockchain machine images and node as a service solution, which allows you to spin up and sync a dedicated node, which will be ready within minutes. What the? It supports more than 20 blockchain, including Bitcoin. Now, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, and Avalanche. The normal process of deploying and seeking full blockchain nodes can be both time-intensive and costly, often needing a dedicated infrastructure team to manage. Through the Google Cloud Marketplace, this process is simplified considerably. Now, with the click of a button, nodes can be deployed and updated and used to power decentralized apps, platforms, and data streams. Okay. Now, she mentioned the XRPL and some other networks, but I don't see them. I guess maybe I would have to click on something to see it, but how will this benefit businesses? The extensive infrastructure needed can rack up costs for businesses. Okay. All right. For example, the other leading blockchain node service providers are charging up to $2,000 per month. I was just asking about Anchor, ANKR. Interesting. In contrast, the new service lets users run dedicated Flare nodes for around $300 a month. It will also allow companies to do so without much maintenance of the infrastructure or relying external services. Okay, there's Ripple. It says or Ripple. All right. Within the context of Flare's ecosystem, Flare's Vice President of Engineering, Josh Edwards, states that this will be especially beneficial to Flare's attestation providers. Attestation providers are independent entities on Flare responsible for securely retrieving data from blockchains such as Bitcoin and Ripple. It says from blockchains. All right. So again, GCP Marketplace node, set up a node, head to Google Cloud Marketplace. Bye, baby. Set up a node, connect a node, verify the node. Yeah. Well, it would have been nice to kind of see Google Cloud Marketplace and search for blockchain machine image. Select a project. Blockchain machine. Blockchain machine images, Flare network. Mm-hmm. It says view deployments. Click to see deployments. I don't know. I don't know. No, okay. Oh my God. Okay. Let's see. And I know Ripple X did it, so I guess you can. I see Bitcoin E, Binance Smart Chain, FLR. I don't want to purchase anything. I just want to see. But I guess if Ripple X says you can. You can. But there it is. I mean, I find that to be fascinating that Ripple X put that out. I do. I really do find that to be interesting. And then there was no, there was nothing else from it. It's just they put it out. She's got the ledger in here as well. So Cosmos, I didn't see Cosmos in there. So Litecoin doing it as well. Interesting. Just in, Flare Network's blockchain machine is now available on Google Cloud Marketplace, streamlining Litecoin node management. Deploy a ready-to-use Litecoin node on Google Cloud in mere minutes. And then Algorand did the same thing. In case you missed it, Flare just releases blockchain machine images product, enabling devs to deploy ready-to-use Algorand. So there it is, fam. I find that to be fascinating. They're not messing around, DeFi. They're not messing around over there, Flare. Cali Cat's in the building. What's going on, Cali Cat? How are you? Flare's not messing around. Okay, I need to go to this one here. Hugo means business, says Pookie Pookie. Yes, sir. You ain't messing around. That's right. Ripple's not cross-border anymore, man. They're not. That's not their emphasis. The emphasis, Rick, is definitely institutional DeFi, custody, and the Ripple stablecoin. Correct. That is correct. But isn't that interesting? You got Algorand, you got Litecoin, you got Ripple X promoting the node as a service that Flare Networks put together. That's pretty interesting to me. But it is what it is. I covered the meme coins. 14 out of the top 20 performing assets in 2024 are meme coins. 14 out of the 24. This person says that Retardio is up 111%. So I don't know. But anyway, he doesn't have Retardio up that number. He doesn't have Retardio on here for 2024. So in any case. All right. So let's get rid of that. I just want to share that with you guys. Let's get into this DeFi data. You ready? Let's get into this real vision video, man. This is interesting stuff. Again, this is kind of speaking to what we're saying. It speaks to this right here we talked about in my post yesterday, brother crypto. This is my post from today. In most contexts, a small exposure to high upside brings higher returns than a moderate exposure to moderate upside. A small exposure to high upside brings higher returns than a moderate exposure to moderate upsides. That's why they talk about position sizing all the time. That's why 90-10 works. But here's my post. In investing, the quote-unquote barbell strategy consists of allocating part of one's wealth to non-risky assets I have, like Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana, and part 2 risky ones with high upside. I have altcoins, meme coins, or alts with winning narratives. Investors who do so find themselves wealthier than those investing all their wealth in medium risk assets like XRP, Cardano, and Bitcoin Cash. One reason is that a medium risk investment is less likely to suffer large losses, but is not immune to them. And over long enough time frames, less likely means or becomes eventually. And by the way, I'm gonna tag him here. Tag the author at, I think it was at Del Anna. I'm trying to do, yep, there it is. Because I didn't tag him, I should have tagged. Anyway, so let's take a listen.
Testing these factors what's over time is that it essentially keeps you out of the market when conditions are not favorable and improves as the one that you've developed. But nevertheless, all I did was I looked at these liquidity factors, and there's a whole range of them, and looked at and I backtested them and came down to essentially 3. And I built a trend regime model, or a liquidity model, which you can see on this chart here, which is these 3 sort of sub charts, which are color coded red and green. All they are, it's a momentum filter on things like global M2, which I use in this report extensively, central bank balance sheets, and the dollar, the DXY. And what I found backtesting these factors was over time is that it essentially keeps you out of the market when conditions are not favorable and improves risk-adjusted returns by investing in Bitcoin purely based on this signal. It doesn't give you the same upside, but it does limit your downside, which I think as a trend regime or a market regime filter, it
doesn't give you the same upside, but it trims the downside. It's not about the wind moons. It's about protecting for the downside.
Is exactly what you want. So we can see what happened. I mean, the backtesting goes back to, over a decade ago, but you can see here the last sort of 5 years, we had, the 3 indicators align in Q4 of last year. That gave us a move in Bitcoin from 30,000 to 70,000, a smart contract platform sector move of about 3x. And then everything started to tighten up in the second quarter of this year, and we had this sort of 6-month pullback. We've come out of that, and now liquidity, the liquidity indicators that I use from August turn decisively bullish. So we have that as our backdrop. Then the other aspect to the thesis on blockchain or crypto asset class is the network growing. So this is, we hope that we'll get this data inside the RV platform. So it's not coming to our readers in the form of a report.
Let's see if we can make some sense of this here. Okay, so it says SCP, that's Smart Contract Platform Network Market Cap. It's interesting. Smart contract. Fully diluted market cap. Supply overhang, SCP volume, smart contract. Daily active addresses, monthly active addresses, daily transaction, daily fees, stablecoin transfer volume. And what he's doing here is giving you things to look for, but he's not telling you, he's not saying SUI is killing the game here. He's not saying Ethereum is losing out here. He's not saying Caspa is killing the game here. He's not saying Arbitrum is grabbing market share from Ethereum. He's giving you the things to look to evaluate for something that you might be invested in?
Every couple of weeks, it's something that they can sort of access and tap. But for now, these reports will be showcasing updates on how well things are tracking. And we can see here, there's a lot going on in this dashboard, Raoul, as you can see. But if we just sort of focus on the column, which looks at the 1 year percentage change. So over the last 1 year, if we look at the market cap for smart contract platforms, it's risen by about 92%. When we look down below in the network activity section, you can see that active addresses, daily transaction fees, stablecoin transfer volumes are well over 100%. And one of the things I sort of look for is is the network activity outpacing the change in the market cap or the prices? So that for me is a very strong signal. And if you look at the percentile rankings on the far right column, you can see that for most network activity metrics, they are, except for fees, they're in the 95 percentile or above. So, we're almost at all-time highs in most metrics, but yet the market cap is, about 13% below. It's in the 87 percentile. So that's an incredibly bullish sign in my view. So as we look towards the 6 month percentage change column, market cap is down 28%. Again, just about everything except for fees is up a lot. And fees is down partially because Ethereum went through the upgrade where it slashed fees, which is, I think, an incredibly constructive thing for the blockchain economy. But that shows up in that metric with a large decline over the last 6 months.
We could think of slashing fees as cutting taxes in the Ethereum economy. So you've cut taxes in the hope that it brings new economic activity, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So long-term, very, very constructive. And if you look at just sort of one time series chart, if you look at daily active addresses for the aggregate of blockchains, which is the line in blue, overlaid with the market cap of the smart contract platform sector, you can see that the sector market cap is basically been going sideways or down for the last 6 months, but we've seen a breakout to the upside in daily active addresses. And it just reminds me of what happened in 2020. Back in 2020, if you look at the blue line, it broke out to a new all-time high in the middle of that year. But the actual sector market cap was down about 50%. It was in a 50% drawdown at that point from the 2017 cycle. So, in a lot of the work that I've done is looked at regress these metrics, and at the aggregate level, Raoul, it's quite interesting. All of these metrics at the aggregate level, when you total them all up, have R-squareds of 60, 70, which are pretty strong. When you look at the individual assets, the correlation breaks down a lot more.
And that's what I found when I was doing that Metcalfe's Law thing. It was bizarre, but when you put them together, and I just used two things in the end, total value transacted plus active addresses, the R-squared was really high.
Yeah. And it's the nuance of the crypto economy. When you look at the networks, there's all this idiosyncratic risk.
You need to look at holistically, which is the key point, because it's not an individual. So I know a lot of people focus on TVL. Well, TVL is the size of the financial sector or defense spending, if you think of it in terms of securing chain activity. Whatever it is, it's only a part of the economy. And you can't look at the US economy and just look at defense spending and understand what the total US economy is.
Yeah, you have to sort of triangulate it. And a lot of those metrics like TVL and fees are extremely dependent on the price. So, the TVL numbers are denominated in the price of the token. The token goes up, those numbers go up with it. So it looks like they're growing, but sometimes unless you sort of delineate the real growth, it's very hard to pass whether there's actually more capital coming in terms of TVL versus just people speculating on the token. So it's yeah, it's tricky. But the aggregate level, you get a very clear signal that higher adoption metrics means higher market cap for the space.
Higher adoption, right? It's just like we've been saying on this channel for a while now, brother crypto. Like the formula is out. You just got to know the formula. The formula is out. And it's about network adoption going up and to the right in the network adoption curve. Like, if you get that, if you understand that, this is how you can judge whether or not this particular layer 1 or layer 2 or whatever is doing its thing. Hydro says 90-10. Yep. Yep. Mastermind 5, what's going on, friend? Mastermind 5 says, Dai said in yesterday's video that XRP will be used by the IMF and all is still a stage. Yeah, all the world's still a stage. Yep. I hear him. We'll see though, right? Rick Cisneros says, yeah, I agree, bro. Player networks are finding new use cases to create adoption and bring devs to network, moving the needle from the left to the right. Right. This is why XRP is a pet rock until it gains yield. The FSS system is where the pet rock will have a new use case that will lock up XRP, which is creating demand, move it to the upside, and it will take, right? It will take through. Right. So creating demand for the asset, right? DeFi, yield, right? The formula is you got to garner attention to the blockchain. You got to attract new users, which equals new addresses, new active users. You got to give them something to hang out on, something to hang out in, something to do. Why is Player Networks doing the Galaxy Quest? You're trying to garner attention, create attraction to the network, give them something fun to do, got some incentive at the end, right? Create new wallets, bring more active users, right? This is the formula, right? This is the formula. We got to give them something to do on the chain. You got to draw it. Airdrops is part of garnering attention. Galaxy Quest, part of it. Airdrop farming, part of it. Gathering attention, garnering attention for the blockchain. Then you got to give them something useful, fun to do, something useful, DeFi, fun to do, right? UI, UX got to be great. Liquidity events is a form of creating attention on the blockchain. Rick says, no, says, I think Cash was a dead token. I think the main developers abandoned the token. No, not the main core developers. One particular project on there left. Changed themselves, created the Prove IA thing, and then kind of hit the roads. But the CTO, the main CTO, put the word out today that they're obviously ain't going anywhere, and now they're going to be they're able to better focus on what they need to focus on. So I would check out the CTO from Casper, check out his tweet. It makes sense to me what they're going to be doing now. And it also makes sense for why the Prove AI people left, right? It was a money grab. It was a money grab. Hedera offered them some money to bring this thing to Hedera. It was a money grab. They took it. So I don't think it's a dead token, but I got to tell you, this is, I don't know if it's just, if you would say this is the midst of a bull run or not, but the timing of that move is very unfortunate. And, the CTO is saying, some announcements and new stuff is coming in 2 or 3 months. We're just going to have to see if that timing is going to work, because if we're talking, this is what, October. We're talking, November, December, January. Maybe if they can get something out before February, they can, they can kind of do some stuff, but it's going to have to be something noteworthy, a new DApp, something noteworthy. But the CTO explained the whole situation. The people from Prove AI who created that company, who created Prove AI, the app, it was, I don't want to say it was a money grab, but it was an offer that they could not refuse. So they left. And right, they're a business, right? Just like Blair Labs is a company, so is this particular Casper thing. They took the money and they were offered money, but you got to come on Hedera to do it. And that's what they did. They took the money and went. What? Wiley's in the building. How are you, Wiley? Wiley says, I saw my first digital billboard ad for a meme coin this morning. This is big business now, really. I know in New York, there's just one or two places that you can do some digital billboards for relatively, I don't want to say cheap, but definitely cheaper than traditional billboards. Which meme coin was that, Wally? Which meme coin had the digital billboard? That would be interesting. All right, so let's go to minute 55. DeFi Daddy said, was it? I think it was DeFi Daddy said minute 55, right? Let's go to that one. All right, so they got it chapter 52, minute 52 is Bitcoin dominance and projections for other cryptos. Let's start there. What does this say? Bitcoin price scenarios, base case, projections, and parallel. Let's start there. Minute 50.
70,000. That was the one that I produced last year. 70,000. That was the potential for Bitcoin to reach certain levels this cycle. So my base case is if we just look at global M2 and back it out to August, which was where the Bitcoin cycle peaks, that infers a price of about 100,000 on Bitcoin, which I'm placing as a potential outcome, but a very low probability outcome. My proportionality forecast is 170,000. That was the one that I produced last year, when Bitcoin is more or less still in a bear market. And then you've got these more optimistic scenarios where maybe Bitcoin gets back just to the mean, the red line of the linear price chart, which would imply a price of around 234,000, and then something crazy, where it goes absolutely parabolic and maybe up to one standard deviation. So that's the range of outcomes. The question is what probabilities do you assign to each of those potential outcomes to come up with some sort of grounded, probability weighted projection? And so, as I mentioned, global M2 regression line of 100,000 is sort of like my base case or worst case. And then all I've done is I've looked at these other potential outcomes and assigned a probability. I don't think Bitcoin is going to go parabolic to 500,000 this cycle. I see 500,000 in the future, not this cycle. So it's a very low probability. And the
Hold on. I like this. Can we get back to that, dude? What's going on there? I want to see that chart.
So that's the range of outcomes. The question is what probabilities do you assign to each of those?
Okay. So GL global M2 money regression, peak date, August 2025. Price forecast for Bitcoin is 100,000. Probability is 15%. That would make the market cap 1,984,000,000. Bitcoin dominance 53%. Okay. I still feel like we need a 56% Bitcoin dominance, but he's saying a 53. All right. Cycle proportionality. This is for his 2023 forecast that he did. But he's saying the peak date, August 2025, of 170, he has that as a 60% chance. 234,000 Bitcoin price, a 20% chance. And 500,000 Bitcoin price this cycle at 5%. So 100,000, I would think. Yeah, 230. So I've always thought Bitcoin was going to 2.5 to 3.5 previous all-time high. So whatever that is, Bitcoin's previous all-time high was at 70, but I was going by last cycle, but 2.5 to 3.5 from the previous all-time high. So was it 69.7 or was it 70 something? Let's see. I'm gonna do 69 because I don't remember. $69,000 times 2.5. Yeah, that's 172,000, right? That's times 2.5 and times 3 is 207,000. So, yep. So I'm in this 170, like this 170 to 170 to 200 is kind of where I am with Bitcoin. Let's continue.
Potential outcomes to come up with some sort of grounded, probability weighted projection. And so, as I mentioned, global M2 regression line of 100,000 is sort of like my base case or worst case. And then all I've done is I've looked at these other potential outcomes and assigned a probability. I don't think Bitcoin is going to go parabolic to 500,000 this cycle. I see 500,000 in the future, not this cycle. So it's a very low probability. And the outcome is just this probability weighted market forecast of 189,000 for Bitcoin by August of next year, which will give it a market cap of around 3.75 trillion. Seems, for those uninitiated, seems crazy perhaps, but all I've done is taken, previous trends and also regress it against global liquidity, which is at this point probably one of the safest bets, right, in terms of what that particular macro liquidity variable will do, and then form a basis of where I think the cycle will end and also get to.
It's fascinating. I've used similar ideas of a probability of a short stunted cycle, a normal cycle, and a blow off top cycle. My probabilities are the shorter stunted cycle less so, because we've had this long corrective period and liquidity seems to be coming as expected. Something like, so I would give that kind of a 10% weighting, something like a 60% weighting for that mid tier. So that's somewhere between 180 and 250, kind of where you get to. And then, the top of the band, that blow off top, I've probably got slightly higher odds, but who the hell knows? And you've gone into it in a more systematic way to me. Now, part of what you've done here is you've assumed a Bitcoin dominance of 53. Why that, and why does it not move around? Because kind of if we get a blow off, my guess is Bitcoin dominance goes down, because that tends to be
no, but it's got to get up to that first, Raul.
No, I didn't include the chart, but it's in the report. When people look at Bitcoin dominance, typically what they're doing is they're going to TradingView and they're looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, which is like a default chart. So the Bitcoin dominance that I'm referring to is slightly different because I'm using Bitcoin dominance within the top 200. So the one you see on TradingView, I think is around 59%. In my top 200, Bitcoin dominance is around 63% currently. So it's slightly higher. In the top 200, it takes up a larger share. So I see it dropping. Now, in the Bitcoin dominance that I use, it tends to get as high as 70 and as low as 40 from the previous two cycles. So that's kind of like the range. So 53 is pretty much in the middle. I don't think this cycle Bitcoin dominance drops as much as it has in previous cycles. I made mention of this in the report, and I've talked about it in a report back from April about the increasing use of Bitcoin as collateral. I think Bitcoin's moneyness is increasing, with every new use case of it underpinning as a collateral for something else. So what have we seen that have been really positive developments in this regard this year? We're seeing the creation of staking protocols on the Bitcoin blockchain, which allow Bitcoin holders to stake their Bitcoin in other proof of stake networks without it leaving the base chain. So while some people will want to do absolutely nothing with their Bitcoin because it's the pristine collateral for their life, and they can't afford to risk it in any way, shape, or form other than just hold it with a private keys or multi-sig or whatever and not do anything with it, there's going to be a percentage of that $1.3 trillion market cap value. They're going to say, hey, I do want some yield. And they're going to seek that out in a couple of different tools. And then you've got Saylor, who's doing it in a sort of less transparent way with large banking intermediaries by the sound of it. JP Morgan, I think he mentioned. So if that's how much Bitcoin does he hold?
I've no idea anymore.
Yeah, it's about 1%. So maybe it's 100. I don't know.
It's 200,000.
So I always had in my mind there's probably like 10% of Bitcoin holders. So that's unlocking $130 billion in value to underpin or form collateral for other things, including namely proof of stake network, the blockchain economy. So that's one. But obviously you've got the potential for nation states as well. And I've been of the view that this will be the year that becomes a reality. It doesn't look like it's going to become a reality in 2024, but I have this suspicion that several countries are holding Bitcoin as of today, namely through their domestic mining operations. Whether they ever bring that to full light in a public forum,
we'll see. But he's right about the Bitcoin and different layer ones and layer twos, like Babylon, for example, in the Cosmos ecosystem is providing staking for Bitcoin. There's a lot of building DeFi stuff on the layer one. Tap protocol is another one. And so the value of people wanting to hold and or do things with that Bitcoin is going to grow without question. Hydro says, so will Bitcoiners buy into altcoins if they are being safe? I don't think so. I don't think so. I know we're discovering more and more, Gary Cardone does a lot of stuff, but discovering more and more that the early Bitcoiners they just made a few purchases early, and that was it. They didn't continue the dollar cost average. They didn't continue to accumulate Bitcoin. So, and I guess they're good with it if you've been buying at 2012 numbers or 2013 prices, like a lot of the quote unquote Bitcoiners were doing. So I don't know. But I do think that there's some ergodicity going on with the Bitcoiners that they're not aware of, only because they keep comparing their Bitcoin to gold, the stock market, and the dollar. They're not really comparing their Bitcoin to the digital asset space in terms of risk-adjusted rewards. So what a lot of the Bitcoiners are doing is what Luca talks about in his book. And it's all in on quote unquote. He says the barbell strategy consists of exposing most of yourself to safe activities and a tiny bit of yourself to risky ones. So with high upside. This is distinct from exposing all of yourself, all of your stuff in safe activities. Safe, right? This is distinct from exposing all of yourself to safe activities most of the time, and seldom, which with Bitcoiners would be zero, to risky ones with high upside. Doing so puts you at risk of game over while you perform the latter. Conversely, the point of the barbell strategy is to pursue risky activities in a way that capsides or caps downside risk, not by reducing its frequency, but its impact. In other words, he's saying, what I see from what's going on in the Bitcoiners is they're all in on one asset. That's what I see, being all in on one asset. And what he's suggesting is it's better to be 90 and 10. Because in most contexts, a small exposure to high upsides brings higher returns than a moderate exposure to moderate upside. And look, to me, in my view, that's what the Bitcoiners are doing. In my view. So that's why personally, I like the 90-10 because, and I think about the Max 7 and I understand, like most Bitcoiners do not believe that there is going to be 5 to 7, 5 to 9, maybe layer ones or blockchains with $1 trillion market cap. They don't believe it. They don't believe Ethereum is going to get to $1 trillion. They don't believe that Solana is going to get to $1 trillion. And I just think that they're wrong. I think they're wrong. Everyone has to come to their own conclusions, however. But I think that is just fundamentally not correct because the size of the pie is going to grow. Not because of what we're doing, but because of what they outside of the digital asset space is doing, right? The debasement of the currency, the printing of more dollars, the expanding debt is getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And it has to. They can't stop printing the dollars until they pick up a new financial system. And right now, they don't have a firm footing in the new financial system. Stablecoin regulation will open the door, awaken some of these geniuses over these economists to the value of the stablecoin, and that's going to help. But it's going to take some while, right? It's going to take a while. Once they realize that the dollar can still be the world's reserve currency, but there's an asset class that is going to be the world's reserve asset. And so if you have this world reserve asset class as the reserve asset, right? If you have that, right, then you can do a 90-10. I personally like 90-10. Some may like 80-20 or 70-30. I like 90-10 because I do it as a culmination. So a combination. It's not just Bitcoin. It's certainly not just Solana. And it's not just Ethereum. I do a combination of those 2 or 3. And then I do a 10% for other things. Now, the other things right now, this cycle are the narratives and the altcoins in those narratives. But it has to be the winning narrative. Metaverse is a narrative, but it ain't winning this cycle. NFTs, in my opinion, are a narrative, but they're not winning this cycle. did okay last cycle. So for me, it's the winning narratives. And right now, meme coins, RWAs, AIs, layer ones with different new network adoption technology and gaming. In gaming. That's my 10% bucket. I don't know if what you would, and then I took a couple of, way, way risky plays. We'll see how they do. But most of the 10% was in those narratives. We're just going to kind of see how it goes. That's kind of how I see it. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. And if you happen to be in that 45, 50 percent or so of people who are hanging out, listening to and watching the Crypto Seeds, excuse me, and haven't subscribed to the channel, we're trying to drop that number down from 50% down to about 25% or less. And you could do your part in helping us get there by just hitting that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. Make sure you hit the all notifications button. Yeah, and so that, I think that is really the issue. Hydro is missing on the upside because they're all in one asset. They're not all in one asset class. They're all in one asset. So I think that's the challenge. Because, a 10% bucket, if you happen to get the right ones, it won't hurt you. But there is potential to outdo the 90% bucket. Right? That's kind of how I see it. That's kind of how I see it. You got to have a full formula. We share that in the Patreon. Like there's a full formula for winning in every cycle. The numbers are there. All we have to do in each cycle is pay attention to the winning narratives. And you got to monitor that, right? Remember, after this thing is over, this bull run is over, we got 3 years. We got 3 years. We don't know what narrative is going to come up. We don't know what's going to be popping, right? And the next bear. We don't know. So that's why I say the winning narratives, right? Go in the 10% bucket for me. The winning narratives, right? The winning narratives. You never know. Winning narratives next cycle might be layer 2s instead of layer 1s. Don't know. Or maybe they join the layer 1s in the winning narrative. Don't know. Maybe gaming replaces the memes next cycle in the winning narrative. Don't know. But we got 3 years after this bull run to figure it out, to be in the mud and the muck, in the weeds, in the discords, in the telegrams, on the crypto Twitter, figuring it out on YouTube, doing our due diligence, joining awesome platforms like Real Vision. In my opinion, everyone is in the digital asset space should be hanging out there for sure. And we'll figure it out. All right, we'll figure it out. So there's kind of how I see it. But that's the good stuff there from Real Vision and that guy. I'm glad I joined. I'm definitely glad I joined. All right, fam. Look, I'm going to wrap it up here. I appreciate you guys checking in. I'll probably hop on later tonight as well. I mean, it is Friday night. Maybe hang out a little bit tonight as well. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button for me. Again, it is one of the greatest ways to support the channel, hitting the like button. And it gets the channel out to more people out there who are hanging out, listening to and watching, who are hanging out on YouTube and don't know that this new financial system, this new asset class is being built right underneath their nose, right? Gives them a chance to figure that out we got to let them know it's good because they don't know right now. They just don't know. Right? All right, Pam. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm going to end this one like I do all my live stream and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to perhaps consider this or ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.